So, you snapped an awesome photo on your phone. It looks great on the screen, but the moment you try to print it, it looks awful. Or maybe you found that perfect image, for your thumbnail, and it's just too small. And when you're trying to scale it up, it turns into a blurry mess. Now, what if I tell you there is a software that can be your personal editor, fixing your photos in seconds? Sounds awesome, right? Now, here's the crazy part. What if I tell you you can set it up within seconds? Just about anyone can use it, and it's completely free, open source, and offline. I'm Arya. This is AZM Lab, and today I'll show you how to get Upscale, one of the simplest and the safest ways to clean up and upscale your images. Now, to get this amazing software, all you need to do is open up your favorite browser and copy this link that I'll put in the description below in the address bar. Again, you can manually type it, also Google for it. Just remember, the name of it is spelled in a bit of a weird way. It actually made me laugh the first time I came across it. Either way, press enter and that's going to load up the homepage. Now, on the homepage, you have this wonderful example already showing you what this software can do. But also you may have noticed at the top in some of the tabs where it says home, cloud, and desktop, it also says pricing. Now, guys, again, this software is completely free, it is unlimited, and it is open source. These pricing are referencing when you're using it online. So if you're using their servers and their systems, these are the pricing. But again, we're going to be using it offline. But this is actually showcasing the value that you're getting, because just to get the pro plan, you need to pay $24.99 just to get 300 credits a month. Whereas with offline, it is completely free and unlimited. And we're going to be doing that. And to do that, look to the top right corner, and for the download button, we're going to be pressing that. Now it's going to load up this page. Again, another amazing thing about Upscale is the fact that it is available on all major platforms, Linux, macOS, and Windows. So it's going to give you so much more option. And again, there's no complicated installation required for any of them. In this case, we're going to be selecting Windows, and it's going to bring up the download folder. Now, again, you can change where you want to save the file to, the file that is going to be downloaded. I'm going to keep it as downloads, and I'm going to press save. Again, it's going to pop it into the top right corner. You can use the top right corner executable file with this one, but again, guys, just to avoid issues and that sort of thing, as I mentioned, with some of these open source software, they have a bit of a problem when it comes to actually installations and so on, to do with Windows Defender and Windows Security especially. So to avoid that, again, we're going to be shutting down this window, and we're going to open up the download folder. Now, there, same as the other Shutter encoder that I mentioned, right click on Upscale and press run as administrator. Now, what you're going to get is a prompt saying that it's an unknown publisher or some form of warning. Again, if you do get a warning related to Windows Defender, all you need to do is click the text at the bottom left corner and open an option where it says run anyway, and press that. And again, to the question where it says, do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher? Press yes. So once you've done that, we're going to be closing the download folder. You're going to get this option. Again, you can choose the location where you want to install it to. I'm going to keep it as the C folder, and I'm going to press install. Now, this is not a very large file, and it should be very, very quick for it to be installed. So that's it. We don't need to run it straight away. And now I'm going to move on to the next section. Now, when you load up Upscale for the first time, you're actually going to be given an option to select a language. So it's got a bunch of different options, but in our case, we're going to be selecting English and we're going to be pressing next. Now, on the next page, you even get an option to also allow it to auto update and, help improve Upscale, which I don't like sharing details and that sort of thing. But also it allows you to change the color design of Upscale. But to be honest with you, I actually like the original. It just is much easier on the eye, to say the least. But again, you can change all these options afterwards as well. We're going to be pressing next. And again, it's going to give you a tutorial as well. Again, we're going to be ignoring that. But if you're using it for the first time, you can also watch that video as well, which is awesome. Now, we're going to be pressing get started. Now, as you can see with Upscale, similar to Shutter Encoder, you're going to get this incredibly simple and clean UI that almost anybody can use. And if you look to the top left corner, you get the Upscale and settings. I'll quickly go through settings in just a moment. But again, you also get batch Upscale. If you toggle that on, it allows you to actually drop a bunch of different photos so you can upscale them and so on at the same time. But I don't recommend doing that, and I'll explain in just a moment. Again, the next option is select image, so you can directly select from the folder or select the folder in case of batches, or you can also drop the photos in here as well. But now, the reason I say don't do pictures in batches is because when you go to step 2, you get to select the AI model. Now, these models get updated regularly, so what you're currently seeing in this video may change in future, and potentially, I would say, get better. But with each model, they potentially give you a different result. Now, when you put a photo in Upscale, what you want to do is try to test different models so you can get the best outcome. And that will be my best recommendation. I am going to be selecting the Upscale standard, but I may change that again when I'm going through my examples. But this is something that I would highly recommend doing and kind of playing around, unless you got an exactly the same photo that you want to do in batches, which I would ask, why would you want to do that? But now, we're going to be closing that down. Now, with double Upscale, again, you're going to get this question mark that will kind of explain it. Enable this option to run Upscale twice on an image. I don't really recommend doing that because that usually tends to kind of over sharpen images and I don't like it. But again, you can kind of experiment with it, play around with it. Now, for the next option, which it says image scale, you got basically time 1, time 2, time 3, time 4, and so on. And eventually will give you a red warning. I would recommend do not go over that red warning. Now, the reason that you got this option of time 1 and so on is, let's just give you an example. Now, let's go by this particular, actually, let's go with a simple example. Now, this is very, very simple example that I generated. But if you want to just simply get rid of the grain and kind of clean up this photo, you just keep it at 1x. And as you can see, it says 800 by 450. But now, if you actually change this multiplier, what it would do is actually, as well as cleaning up the photo, increase the scale of the photo, which is awesome. But if you don't want to do that, we're going to keep it as 1x, which we're going to do. Now, next, you get to select where your output folder would be. In this case, because I've got this folder in desktop, I'm just going to keep it as default to images path, and it's just going to simply drop it back in here. Now, all you then need to do is just simply press Upscale. And depending on your system, it just takes a little while. As you can see, it will give you a prompt that is done. That will work pretty well if you got, as I said, a batch of photos. As you can see, it kind of clears up the image. This is a very, very simple example that I'm giving you, but again, I will test it with another one as well. Now, all you need to do is press these 3 dots. You can zoom in and out, but we're going to be pressing reset image, and it's just going to simply clear this for us. Now it's going to automatically save it in that test photo folder. Now we're going to be testing it with another one, a little bit more complicated one. Let's just drop this photo. Again, this is another photo I've generated. So this is AI generated photo. Again, now I get to select different models here. Let's just go initially with Upscale standard. Now, again, we're not going to be changing the size. I'm just going to simply press Upscale. Now, it's going to take a little while. Let's give it a bit of a time. Again, depending on the system, the time may vary. But as you can see, it will do this job for you. So you can clearly see what it can do, which is awesome. Now, let's clear it again and let's test it with another model, guys. So let's open up this folder again. As you can see, it's saved there, but we're going to be bringing back the grainy photo of this AI generated lady. Now we're going to be selecting, let's just say, I don't know, let's just do digital art, something completely different. Again, now if I press this upscale, now again, it's going to take a little while, but if you notice, this is looking a bit more kind of artistic. And actually with the other one, there was a slight line that I noticed that was underneath the neck. Now it got rid of it. So I think this actually gave me slightly better result, frankly. So again, that's what I mean by testing different models to see what gives you the best result. Now we're going to be cleaning that. Now you also have an option in terms of settings where again you can donate and support the software if you want to, but also it allows you to choose whether you want to save it as JPG or PNG and so on. Again, as I mentioned, you can change the theme and language here as well, but it also gives you options in terms of, for example, compression and a bunch of different things as well. Or again, you can turn off notification. I don't actually like doing too much compression because it kind of affects the outcome. But again, you can play around with these options to see what works best for you. But guys, this has been my go-to tool in case of editing images, cleaning up the photos that I take on my camera, and also again, when I'm creating thumbnails and so on, at times when I need to increase the size so it doesn't reduce the quality, I use this. It's fantastic. I hope this video has helped, and if it has, don't forget to smash that like button and drop your comments, guys. Love to hear it in terms of any feedback, anything that you might think that I may have missed with this video, or a software that you think I should check out that could be better, or something completely different. You never know, it might be the next video. But in the meantime, guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, because there's going to be more videos on free tools, guides on how to do things, streaming guides, all sorts. There's going to be a ton coming. But until next time, guys, take care and peace.